us here on another Shabbat, right? Gathered together, this holy congregation. Today's Sabbath lesson is learn how to cut people off. This is practical knowledge that's important when it comes to being in this truth, especially when you first come into this truth. Because when you first come into this truth, there's a lot of things you have to learn. And people in the world, they're not going to get down with the program. So you have to cut them off. Can you bring out Proverbs chapter 5, verse 8?
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, and verse number 8. Remove thy ways.
So like, start verse 1.
Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 1. My son, attend unto my wisdom, and bow thine ear to mine understanding.
Right, so in this chapter, it goes into removing yourself from people that's plain annoying and wasting your time, right? Matter of fact, we're going to read that real quick. Cutting off. When someone stops talking to you because you're just a waste of their time or just plain annoying. So you can read Proverbs 5 and 8.
Proverbs chapter 5 and verse 8. Remove thy way far from her, and come not nigh the door of her house.
So this isn't only exclusive to women. This could be a brother. This could be maybe a family member, right? You got to remove yourself from people that are toxic or just not doing you any well in this truth. If they're not asking if you prayed, if you fasted, if you read, how's the household, if they're not asking about your spiritual life, your mental life, your physical life, they have no parts in your life. They shouldn't. They're just wasting your time. Go ahead.
Verse number 9. Lest thou give thine honor unto others.
Unless you give your honor unto others. And a lot of people, they've done that. I've seen the number one way that brothers fall out the truth is by having friends of this world. At least what I've witnessed. They have people in this, people that they latch onto and hold on to. And they just slowly rip them apart. You put it on your garment, your mighty spiritual garment, and they just tugging at it, trying to tear it off.
Right.
That's what happens when you have people or a lot of friends of this world and you're close with them. And I'm talking about tightly knit. Go ahead.
And thy years unto the cruel.
When you didn't read it no day. You didn't read all day, you talking about us with a club, man. All right, I guess. Go to Sirach 33 and 19, Bible sure.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse number 19.
And while you get that, I'm going to finish reading verse 10. Lest strangers be filled with thy wealth, and thy labors be in the house of a stranger. You was laboring in the house of the Lord, now you labor in the house of a stranger. That's sick. You was in the vineyard, now you're in the plantation. Go ahead.
Sirach chapter 33 verse 19. Give not thy son and wife, thy brother and friend.
And who?
Thy brother and friend.
And your friend. Give not what?
Power over thee.
Power over who?
Power over thee.
Don't let nobody have power over you. Well, I've known her for so long. I mean, we've been friends since kindergarten. I mean, me and her was tight. That's my day one. Yeah, that's my day one, A1. So what, brother? Who cares? They're not, if they're not in the same walk as you, if y'all going two different directions, go ahead.
Power over thee while thou livest.
As long as you live and someone is slowly tearing you from the truth and not helping build you up, you have no parts with them. What are you doing with them? There's no excuses. Now you wonder why you're slothful. You wondering why you just waxing worse. You wondering why you're not praying as much. That's because you're occupying your time with people of this world and the conversations thereof. Now you're talking about NBA YoungBoy all day. You talking about the damn, what else do people talk about in this world? I don't even know. Damn MTV. I don't know. Because we don't have people of this world that we talk to. I have no idea what's going on with these celebrities. Because we don't care. Because we too focused on laboring in the Lord. Right? So go to Sirach 6 and 7. So even when you come into this truth, you still got to prove your friends. And this could have been a friend from day one. You still got to prove them.
That's right.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 6 and verse number 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first.
And coming into this truth as a new creature, you got to see life with new lens. You have to see what's really real and what's beneficial for you. You have to find out, well, I know I've known this person for a long time, but the Lord said a lot of things to me. So what does this mean for my friends? Well, let me prove them. And how do you prove them? You prove them according to the word, according to thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai. So if the Lord said, don't be around this person that does this, that, or the third, and they fit all the criteria, hey, cut them off. You know why? Because they're wasting your time and are plain out annoying. Like the definition said. Go ahead.
That's right. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him.
Go ahead. That's plain. Yeah, he's a good friend. We like the same shoe colors. Go ahead.
Verse number 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion.
Hey, some friends are friends for their own occasion. If they see you in a low position in life, they gotta get you right. I got Tiffany and Charlotte coming over. They doing that because they want to get freaked off.
Right.
They don't care about your soul and your spirit. They just want to get their rocks off. Go ahead.
That's right, brother.
For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble.
Smoke this blunt, nigga. I got you. Don't worry about it. Just make all your troubles go away. We've all had friends like that in the world. I'm gonna get you right. Instead of saying, hey, let's crack open the scriptures. Let's go through it. They'll pass you that nasty ass smelly blunt that'll destroy your lungs.
That's right.
And they just doing it so they can feel good. They really don't care about you. When you think about it, your friends in the world really don't care about you. They don't. Go ahead.
Real quick. Just think about every time in the world you had something going on, you kind of tell your friend, they downplay it. Oh man, just hit this blunt real quick. Oh man, he's always complaining. Yeah. Right? And they joke about it. They'll laugh at you about it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of our friends in the world, they didn't have that compassionate spirit, man. Right? That's why when we come into this truth, the Most High give us a new set of brothers to deal with. And we got to love each other according to how the Lord told us to love each other. In righteousness. What you got? I got a precept right here.
God. Verse number 9. And there is a friend who being turned to enmity and strife will discover thy reproach.
You might discover your reproach. And I seen on a podcast not too long ago, their friend left the room and they talking to a girl, right? He said, you know, you got that chain. And I gave it to him. This is when the dude left. This is his so-called friend. He said, I got him that chain. Isn't that crazy? And she just said, you know, he's not dumb. He's like, okay. But he was just being wicked. Talking about, yeah, I got him that chain. It's crazy, huh? Yeah, I mean, we got it like that. And he came in, he kind of acting normal, acting fake.
That's all.
Bring out, I'll read it real quick. So, right, 37:27.
It says, "Prove my son."
Prove thy soul.
My son, prove thy soul. Right? Judge, have discernment. Prove thy soul in thy life. And see what is evil for it. And give not that unto it. So if you give your life, your time, your energy, your spirit unto another person that's not worth it, you're going to destroy yourself. Go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse number 10. Again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction.
Hey, and you know, it's so much that we can elaborate upon because in its truth, you have a brotherhood, you have alms, and so when you fall in certain situations, brothers are quick to help, brothers are quick to call, brothers are quick to reach out. But in the world, and you're not gonna get a text back a day later, 2 days later. Man, if I was going through something, you need to get his money up. They won't give you no type of comfort, but get your money up, man. Nobody want to deal with that. We fall through hard times, it's bound to happen in life. You told me to get my money up. Where's the comfort, brother? Like Job said, oh, miserable comforters are very all. You got it.
Yeah. Also in the world, man, Jake ain't gonna give you nothing, man. You know, you might fall on hard times, need some help. Jake ain't gonna give you no money. He gonna give you a zip of weed and say, hey man, you know, do what you gotta do. That's all he gonna give you is drugs until you kind of make your own way. Got it.
We got it.
I wanted to say, if you get into it with your woman, Jake gonna say, go freak off, man.
Yeah.
They say, man,
Well, they gonna tell you leave that. They go, hey, you gotta leave that woman.
They just get the worst advice in the world.
Yeah, world, hey man, your worldly family, all these friends, they gonna give you the worst advice. They're not gonna tell you to stay, deal with your marriage, get therapy, go into the scriptures. They're not gonna tell you none of that, man. They gonna say, why you with it?
Yeah, no,
Bill that firm ass.
Right.
the whole time soon you leave her, he trying to get on her, right? It's the wickedness of Jake, man.
And I was gonna say real quick, to give the brother Nathaniel his flowers for, being in the spirit. I was literally just talking to her brother. I'm like, hey, you gotta come congregate with us, man. This is a solid group of brothers. And I was like, I can show you right now. I literally just went randomly in my contact list. I asked Nathaniel, I'm like, hey, can you come give me a ride to my grandmother's? He was in the middle of doing something. I tried to give him time, like, yeah, we do around 8. He said, no, I'll come do it right now. I had him on speaker. I'm like, look, like, bro, I'm trying to tell you.
See that?
Damn.
Brothers in the spirit, man, like, I trying to tell them, like, our friends in the world, they won't do that same thing.
No, they won't. This, can I get Job 16, 1? Wow. That's deep. That's love. That's pure love.
Job 6:1.
16:1.
16. It's the book of Job, chapter 16, and verse number 1. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all.
He said, miserable comforters are ye all. And that's people in the world sometimes. I had a friend in the world, I went through, he started laughing. I'm like, whoa, brother, come on, I'm going through it. Why are you laughing? That's awful. He said, I like it. I'm like, wow. So, that's why Job went through it as well. He said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are ye all. Shall vain words have an end? Or what emboldened thee that thou answerest? What the hell are y'all talking about? So you can finish off in Sirach 6 and 7, or where you left off in 6.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 6, and verse number 11. It reads, but in thy prosperity he will be as thyself, and will be bold over thy servants.
Cussing your servant.
Yeah, that's all.
him.
I want him to keep going.
Yeah.
Got verse number 12. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee, and will hide himself from thy face.
And that's in these movies. We talk about it all the time. Belly, you got BMF. This is all these movies and TV shows. When a friend kind of low, he kind of fighting on. Yeah, finally. Gotcha, nigga. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends.
And that friend that you may have called friend for a long time, and with that, with your eyes being anointed with eye salve, you can truly see that he's your enemy. You can see it. You call him your friend, you've been deceived. That's really your enemy, because your enemy is going to be against you in every turn. Well, I've known him for so long. Hold up. Kindergarten knock. So what?
Same thing with family members.
Yep, that's facts. It's the same thing with family members. That are
kind of got a quick precept. Get James chapter 4, verse 4. So the brother bringing it out. Again, learn to cut people off in this truth. Right? Because when you come into this truth, the Most High gives you a new mind, new understanding. Matter of fact, get Romans chapter 12, verse 1 real quick, King. We're going to go back to James 4 and 4. So you can't stay the same when you first come into this truth. You have to grow. You have to make progress. Right? And a part of growth is change. You're not going to stay the same person you was when you first came into this knowledge. You're going to continue to grow as you learn about the Lord, learn the scriptures, read the accounts of your forefathers, be around like-minded men, and you're going to change into Lord willing, a profitable man in the truth. We're bringing this up, brother.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse number 1.
This is a classic precept. Read on.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice.
So you got to present your bodies a living sacrifice. You got to cut these people off, right? Whether they was beneficial for you, or you might have worked with a brother, but that work, that job is saying you can't get off on the Sabbath. You got to cut that job off. Can't deal with the brother no more, right? Read on.
Holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service.
Right, because we got to serve the Lord. That's our reasonable service.
Verse number 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? To make your mind new again, to change. Like the scripture says, if any man be in a Mashiach, he is a new creature. Right? So when you come to serve the Lord, you got to change the way you was. That's why when you look at old videos of brothers and old pictures, brothers had a different spirit on them. Right? You don't even look the same. Like your countenance is different.
Yeah.
The way you used to act, the way you used to talk, everything is different. We used to say nigga, right? We used to use a whole bunch of slang, right? Not to say there's nothing wrong with slang, but nonetheless, we say king now, we say brother, we say Khan. We changed that into the Hebrew.
That's right.
So we literally changed our mind. Even when you at work, you might kind of catch yourself saying Khan sometimes. You might say Shalom. You know, you kind of catching yourself. You know, you pull up to the drive-thru to go order something, you say Shalom. Oh, they got to put the order in. You kind of catch yourself.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Go ahead, brother.
This is one brother that be mounting my TVs. I seen him on my job and I was about to salute him. And I'm like, bro, what am I doing?
I almost did that to my god brother literally 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I forgot our headset for a second. I'm like, oh, my bad.
I'm like, I ain't know what to do.
You see that? But that's a good thing. That shows that you're changing as a person. You got it, brother.
God, verse number 2 from the top. And be not conformed to this world.
Can't be conformed to this world. What's in this world? Lust, wickedness, freak off. Give me real quick, hold that. Get Luke chapter 16, verse 15. Right? There's nothing but adultery in this world. Homosexuality, murder, theft. You got it, brother.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 15. And he said unto them, Ye are they which justify yourselves before men. But Yahweh knoweth your hearts. For that which is highly esteemed among men.
That which is highly esteemed among men. What's highly esteemed among men? Smoke sessions. Right? Seeing how much women you can pick up on the street.
Right?
Hot boxing.
How much money you can make.
How much money you can make. Right? And that's what Jake is concerned about in the world. How much coins, how much bread can I make? Right? Oh yeah, I'm on weekends. We're talking about take off for the weekend. That's when I make the most money. We didn't actually heard brothers say that. No, you got to keep the Sabbath day holy. Right? So that which is highly esteemed among men, overtime is highly esteemed among men, especially in the world. Jake might got a good job, right? Especially a lot of older Jakes that be at the factory. They don't take off on Saturdays. They love that money. And Jake could tell you, yeah, I love money. I didn't heard Jake say that. I love money. It is what it is. Right? But that which is highly esteemed among men is what?
Is abomination in the sight of Yahweh.
It's an abomination in the sight of Yahweh, meaning the Most High hates it. The Most High hates your smoke sessions. The Most High hates your fornication. The Most High hates when you're working in the Sabbath to make so-called extra money. And this all goes back to cutting people off. Cutting off jobs, right? Cutting off people, cutting off family members that's not beneficial for your son to deal with your father, right? But you got to know when to separate when they're going off, right? You got it, brother.
You want to keep reading in Romans 12? Book of Romans chapter 12 and verse number 2 from the top. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed.
Be what?
Be ye transformed.
Look up that word transformed, right? So you have to be transformed. In other words, it means change, but we're going to look up the definition of it.
Right.
To transform.
I can read it.
It says, make a thorough or dramatic change in the form, appearance, or character of. I want to highlight character, right? So you got to change your spirit. And then it also say change, alter, modify, convert, metamorphose, transfigure, transmute, remodel, reshape. So in other words, you have to change your spirit. And real quick, go to Job chapter 12, verse 7. Because we're going to look up the life cycle of a butterfly, man. Right? Butterflies, they don't start off as butterflies. Right? They start off as, first you got the egg, then it transgress into a caterpillar. Right? Or butterfly. Right? Even the butterflies change. If a butterfly can change, brother, you can change. You got it, brother.
It's the book of Job, chapter 12 and verse number 7. But ask now the beast, and they shall teach thee.
They shall what?
And they shall teach thee.
They shall teach thee. Read on.
And the fowls of the air.
And the what?
And the fowls of the air.
And the fowls of the air. Right now, this is an insect of the air. Read on.
And they shall tell thee.
They shall tell thee. So nature itself tells you that you have to change. Nobody stays the same. And if you're staying the same, then that's a problem. You're stagnant. Right? Even trees grow. Right? So you got the egg. Everything started off as an egg. Right? Then it transforms into a larva, a caterpillar. Right? And then it goes from the caterpillar to the chrysalis, the pupa. And then it changes into an adult butterfly. You understand? So this is the life cycle of a butterfly. Right? So it goes from crawling to flying. Right? So you have to do that in the spirit, man. First you start off crawling, even as a child. Right? Get second at just 8 and 8. You had a point, King?
God, yeah, I was going to say, recently I heard a word of wisdom in the world that said that grass and a tree start at the same level, but a tree eventually has to separate as it grows.
That's right.
So, you know,
That's right. That's a good point. There you go. And that's in even Psalms, the first chapter. There's a lot of precepts coming to my mind. Get Psalms 1 and 1 real quick. A lot of precepts coming to my mind. Right? So that's a good analogy. So again, nature itself tells you that you have to change. The seasons change. The temperature changes. Everything changes in life.
Bring that up.
So why should you stay the same?
That's right.
Bring this up.
it's the book of Psalm, chapter 1 and verse number 1.
Right?
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
You have to be that man. Right? You have to understand that a lot of your family members, that's the counsel of the ungodly. Right? They doing their 4th of July parties, they putting hot dog on the grill, and they want to invite you over. Thanksgiving come around, they want to see if you want to break bread with the family. And that's when you have to separate yourself. You might come from a real family-oriented background. Some brothers don't come from that, so it's kind of easy to cut off family members. But some brothers come from a very family-oriented background. And then in Thanksgiving and Christmas is traditional within a family. And they look down upon you and frown upon you if you don't make it. And that peer pressure come in. But that's when you got to stand bold in the Lord. And understand, hold on, I got to serve my God. We ought to obey the Most High rather than men. Bring this up.
It really,
You gonna make grandma upset this year, boy? Right, grandma, she gotta deal with it, man.
that's right.
Bring this up.
Psalms 1 and 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly.
Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Right? And I remember vividly one time, this when I was like newer to the truth, right? You had Mother's Day that came around. My siblings kind of got on me. They said, why you ain't signing the card for Mom? I said, I'm not signing the card. You know, I gotta serve the Lord. That's folly. And they kind of got mad at me. But then they got over it, man. Right? But just those moments right there, that's going to highlight if you're a man of integrity and really serve the Most High. You got it, brother.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners.
Nor standeth in the way of sinners. Read on.
Right.
Nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful.
So you can't stand in the way of sinners. You can't sit in the seat of the scornful. You got to get out the way. Read on.
But his delight is in the law of Yahweh.
His delight is in the law of the Lord. So you got to get out the way and stay in your lane. Most people that come out of their lane and get in other people's way, they get jammed up. Right? It's like a guy that's not really in the streets. He kind of trying to hang out and be down. He be the guy to get jammed up because he don't know that lifestyle. Right? So when you come out the world, the Most High is really changing your mind. You're not even going to fit in with the world no more.
Done. That's
It's not your life. It's not who you are anymore. Deal with it. Read on.
But his delight is in the law of Yahweh, and in his law doth he meditate day and night.
And that's plain. We got to meditate in the laws of the Lord. Right? And that's another way to transform your mind, knowing about these different commandments. It's some commandments that we heard that we never heard in the world. Right? Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. Right? Rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. We got to come out of the world. Right? Colossians chapter 2, verse 8, not following the traditions of men. All right, so all these precepts we hearing is shaping us to becoming better men of the Lord. Right? And go to James chapter 4, verse 4.
The book of James, chapter 4, and verse number 4.
Right, so, hey man, learning to cut people off is deep. This is a deep topic, deep lesson. We can go on and on about it. I got you, Nathaniel.
It reads, ye adulterers and adulteresses.
You adulterers and adulteresses. Men adulterers and female adulterers.
Right.
Know ye not that the friendship of the world
That the
is
what?
That the friendship of the world
That the friendship of the world. You can't be a friend of the world. Read on.
is enmity with God.
Look up that word enmity. Right, so this is enmity against the Heavenly Father. You're angering the every time you're afraid. Right? Every time you trim your ways to seek love. Matter of fact, give me that. Give me Jeremiah 2:33. Love that precept. Right? When I heard this precept, I was like, man, that's deep. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 33.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, and verse number 33.
Right?
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Why do what?
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Why are you trimming your ways to seek love? This is a fundamental precept that every brother should know. Do not trim your ways just to seek love. Whether that's from your family members, grandma, your old friends, right? Anybody, man. You might come into the truth and your woman, she kind of not getting. She not down with the knowledge. You can't trim your ways to seek love from her. It's our anniversary. Hold on, it's the Sabbath. I gotta look, hold on. Right? I gotta get into these precepts. Right? I can't buy and sell. I gotta go out with the brothers. Right? And she might not like that. She might say, well, look, I'm thinking about filing for divorce. And what you gonna say? You gonna say, all right, well, let me just go ahead and get up. You know, wifey, it's our anniversary, so let me just go to the Cheesecake Factory and buy on the Sabbath and let me just profane the day that the Lord hath created. No, man. Keep reading.
God. It reads, why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
So that's plain. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Stop trimming your ways to seek love from the world.
Right.
Right? So again, you have to learn to cut people off. Right? A lot of people, they drain your spirit, man. You gotta guard your spirit. Right? You have to guard this with your life. Right? Because a lot of people, they come around for wicked intentions, like the brother Yardan brought out in Sirach, the 6th chapter. Right? You never know the true intentions of man. That's why you have to pray to the Lord for discernment, for proper judgment. Because some men come around for their own endeavor. Oh yeah, I heard this brother was the head of the camp. Let me try to get close to this brother. Maybe I can get up in the ranks, and it's gonna be my camp. Right? Hey, that's how certain men think. Or some brothers come into the truth. I see all these women, these sisters. All these sisters.
Listen,
All the sisters.
I have 800 ribs.
Yeah, hey, certain brothers are in the truth for multiple wives. Literally. We've seen this in Israel. This truth is not about how much wives you can accumulate, man. That should be the last thing on your mind as a man of the Lord. Right? This truth is really about bettering yourself, man. Bettering your spirit. Right? In order to receive salvation in the last days. And also uplifting your people. That's what this truth is about. This truth is not about fleshly desires and your pleasure.
Because they use the Bible to get women. Kind of say you gotta be married to make it.
Yeah,
You know?
let me precept, sister. Right? And then Eve it is what it is. A lot of our women are simple-minded. And they get deceived by men. Right? So even the sisters out there, you gotta learn to cut people off. Right? You kind of courting this brother, he just giving you all the red flags. Not studying, right? He don't take care of his children. You know, all he talking about, you know, is other things, not necessarily the scriptures. That's a red flag. You gotta know when to cut somebody off. Right? You got it, brother.
It reads, therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
See that? You don't want to teach the wicked ones your ways. Because now you trained your ways to seek love. Now for example, if it's Thanksgiving, you gotta tell, hey look, I can't do that, you know, that's against the Lord. I gotta follow the ways of the Most High. But if you can kind of conform and kind of just go along with it, you're not reproving anybody. And they're gonna continue to be in that sin. But you might say, you know what, this is against the Most High. And all praises, the Lord might have them repent and say, you know what, that is in the Bible. Right? But if you never reprove them or reform them, then you teaching the wicked ones your ways. You know? And I had another precept. James 4:4. Get Matthew chapter 5 and verse 28. So like 29. Matthew 5 and 29. You got a precept? 18 and what? Matthew chapter 18 and verse 6.
You can start at 6, but you can put down at 8 if you want to get to the point.
Get straight to the point.
Matthew 18 and verse 8.
God. It's the book of Matthew,
That's the spirit of
chapter 18 and verse number 8.
right?
Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee,
It's not literal. This is not your literal hand and foot. It's talking about anybody, whether it's a parent, whether it's a brother, whether it's an old friend of the world, right? If thy hand or thy foot offend thee, meaning causing you to stumble. It's Iraq 32 and 20, causing you to sin and go off. Right? Read on.
cut them off.
Do what?
Cut them off.
This is not literal self-mutilation. And I even got it pulled up in the Zondervan. We read the footnote of Matthew 5 and 29. It says, Christ is not teaching self-mutilation, for even a blind man can lust. The point is that we should deal as drastically with sin as necessary. And that goes back to prove thy soul in Sirach 37 and 27. If anything is causing you to go off and into wickedness and creep into dark places, you gotta cut it off. And and only you really know what's bad for your soul. Whether that's social media, it might be a friend, right? It might be drinking for certain brothers. Certain brothers drink and they go on a binge. They drink for a week straight. All day, every day. You know, like a fish, drink water, yeah. You know? So, hey, that might be unprofitable for that brother. You got it.
Yeah, I was going to add real quick, and that's how you can see the spirit that we've had since the ancient days. To this day, we still say that's my right hand man.
Yeah.
So you might have to cut that hand off.
He's not say that.
You know.
That's my right hand man.
Yeah, Lord.
I'll say that.
Hey, that goes back to Hosea 12 and 10. The Lord speaks in similitude. This is not the white man's book.
That's right.
He doesn't speak in that mannerism. He doesn't say, this is my right hand man. He say, this is my pal. on my bud.
I just said it.
Right?
Bro. This is about
A
pal.
friend of mine, a buddy of mine.
My acquaintance.
Yeah, we say, look, this is my right hand man.
No salt.
You know, so everything is spiritual, and this is how we know this is our book. Go back to Matthew 18.
Pal.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse number 8. Wherefore, if thy hand or thy foot offend thee,
All right.
cut them off.
Do what?
Cut them off.
Cut these people off.
Right.
That's not literally saying take out a knife and go chop somebody up. No, it's saying cut them off from your life, separate from them.
Right.
Right? Spiritually mutilate them. You got it.
It reads, and cast them from thee.
And cast them from thee. Read on.
It is better for thee to enter into life halt or maimed, rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into everlasting fire.
That's right. It's better to enter into life halt or maimed. Right? Because at the end of the day, the Most High is going to give you more of an increase. I mean, we got way more brothers now than we had in the world. I mean, you know brothers in different cities, Cleveland, Orlando, Texas, Milwaukee. Did you grow up thinking you was going to be the man in Arkansas? No. In Europe. We know brothers in Europe.
Yeah, but you talking like, hey man, you do your trousers. I'd be like, Andrew, what the hell you talking about?
Right? But that's a beautiful thing, man, because now the Most High actually gave us more of an increase. Now we got family. We got elders in this thing that teach us things that we've never been taught before. Right? You make lifelong friendships with brothers in the truth. So this is your real family now. Not to say you can't deal with your worldly family, because you're still going to deal with them. Right? The Most High might put a spirit of of peace with you and your worldly family. But they might kind of start understanding what you do. Oh, it's the new moon. You know, it's the new moon. It's Purim, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they like, okay.
See,
Yeah, they do be saying that. Right. Right. So it's like they become accepting. They kind of see what your friend is on. I like these friends. Well, those are kind of nice. Yeah. But I ain't want to keep the commandments. That's another story. But you know, once you grow spiritually, you don't force stuff in your family. When you first come into the truth, you do that. But once you grow, yeah, you're real overzealous, which is not a bad thing, but it can turn into folly. Yeah. Right? You kind of going in the refrigerator looking for all the pork so you can throw out. Brother, you gonna get yourself jammed up. You know. Glad you know.
Matthew 5.
Yeah. Matthew 5 and 29 again.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse 29.
Right?
And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out.
Hey, if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out. Right? That's in Job 31:1. He said, I made a covenant with my eyes. Why then should I look upon a maid? You gotta make a covenant with your eyes, man. Because that's why the scriptures say the eye is the most wicked thing created. Right? I believe it states that in right?
31 and 13.
Yep. Right? Because with your eyes, you sin. Because you look upon things. Right? Everything you see. That's why that old saying, your eyes are bigger than your stomach. Everything you see, you want. You've been covetous. Because you got to see somebody material belongings for you to want to covet after and rob somebody. You got to see a woman and maybe her bodily shape for you to want to lust after her. You know? So there you have it, man.
Pluck them eyes
You
out.
got to pluck them eyes out.
You gotta go blind to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians 6 and 14.
2 Corinthians 6:14. This is deep. And this is also the Lord teaching us about sacrifice. Because you got to cut something off. I mention it all the time, man. Esau is ready to go to Afghanistan, lose a limb, lose a damn eyeball, all for his country.
Yeah, for the red, white, and blue.
For the red, white, and blue. But you can't do it for the Most High God that wake you up every day. I mean, you got to self-examine yourself. You can't have that same passion for the Most High. You got it, brother.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, and verse number 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Classic precept. Be not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. Read on.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
Because first of all, now you're righteous. What fellowship have you with a wicked person?
Done.
That's why you go to work, man. I mean, these people don't have nothing to talk about. Right? You want to talk about the scriptures. You want to talk about spiritual things, the end times, bettering yourself. And all these people want to talk about is sports. Right? You got a point, brother?
I have a precept.
Boy, let's finish this up.
It reads, and what communication, and what communion hath light with darkness?
What communion have light with dark? Have you ever seen light and darkness mix? Right? It doesn't happen. Light is, first of all, is always going to overpower darkness. You never seen darkness overpower light. Right? And that goes to show you that righteousness is stronger than wickedness. Right? So at the end of the day, the Lord is going to get the victory.
Done.
Right? You got it.
God, it reads verse 15, and what concord hath Christ with Belial?
Right. What agreement have Hamashiach with Satan? They don't agree, man. Read on.
And what part hath he that believeth with an infidel?
That's right. How you gonna sit up there and be buddy with an atheist? I mean, y'all spirits are gonna clash. He just doesn't see life how you see it. I used to work with a brother like that. He was an atheist. He just was real beastly. I said, hey man, famine is coming. I told the brother, famine is coming. And the brother said he the person, man. I said, brother, your mind not right. I ain't say that, but I'm saying like, brother, you bugging out. But if you're an atheist, you subject to doing anything. Because you have no moral compass.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, man, the brother said he'd eat a person. I said, oh, man. It was kind of funny at the time, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say real quick, a lot of people that are atheists, they'll tell you that, they pretty much just try to do their best to function in society. So if society say you can do this, they'll start doing it.
Yeah.
They don't really care.
They don't care. They don't have that moral compass. And if you were atheist, you probably believe in evolution. So you see man as a beast anyway. So, I mean, it's no.
That's all.
That's appreciated though.
Kind. And then I think it's more than that.
God, reading on in verse number 16. And what agreement hath the temple of Yahweh with idols? For ye are the temple of the living God, as God has said, I will dwell in them and walk in them.
That's right. So you're the temple of the Lord now. So your body is your temple. So now you gotta be set apart. Right? A lot of these people not even worth their time, truthfully speaking.
Right.
The Lord gave you something that he didn't give a lot of people. So the Lord, I mean, that's a special thing. Right? So truthfully, these people not on your level. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. They're not on your level.
Yeah.
Right? So you gotta treat it as such, man. You gotta walk with a sense of dignity. And not really pride, but righteous honor.
You gotta, love yourself a little better.
Yeah, love yourself better, man. And Jake really don't love himself. Because you was brought up that
This probably about to be like that.
yeah,
Phone charge.
Salakia. We was brought up to not really love ourselves, man. We was brought up in a society that looked down upon men. The boys are gross. Boys do this, boys do that. You get yelled at all throughout elementary school. I got yelled at all throughout elementary school and middle school, literally. But just being a young man, go sit down in that seat. I mean, you in 8th grade, now you're going through puberty, right? A lot of hormones are happening. You can't sit down for 8 hours, man. You all over the class. You try to talk to the teacher. You drawing on the board. You over there with that one and that one. You all over the place, man. But that's how boys are, right? But the point is, we was brought up in a society that pretty much looked down on us, that oppress us, right? But you got it.
It reads, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
That's right.
Verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them.
Do what?
Come out from among them.
Come out from among them. Read on.
And be ye separate.
And read ye separate. Right? That's why a lot of wicked people, hey, you think you better than us. You think you better than us. That's really envy. Right? Because you live in a righteous lifestyle, it really condemns their lifestyle.
He talking about that Israelite stuff. He talking about you an Israelite. I'm black. I'm black.
Right? No.
I'm black as hell. Yeah, he said that.
Yeah, we heard Jake say, I'm a nigga. Right? I'm a vice. I'm a crip. I'm crippin'. Respect my crippin'. That's all, man.
Yeah.
Right? But you got it, man. You got a precept to your other one?
I was going to come out to
Yeah, a few precepts I want to bring up. Kind of, brothers bring it off through the spirit. So, I want to touch on, again, cutting someone off, to stop, to start having a close or friendly relationship with someone. You first getting the truth. One thing Jake get confused is you think you got to be friends with every brother and friend is in this thing, man. Like, of course, the worldly family, XYZ, but all because a brother got on friendless in the beard, that don't mean he's a brother you should be around.
That's a fact.
Right? Get Leviticus chapter 17, verse 3.
That's a good point, man.
Right? Because I want to touch on when it goes to forgive him 7 times. You got to actually go into it and see what it says. Right? Bring it up.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 17 and verse 3.
Right?
What man soever there be.
Slakia, Luke chapter 17 and 3. Slakia. Yeah. Luke 17 and 3.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 17 and verse 3.
Right?
Take heed to yourselves.
Right?
If thy brother trespass against thee,
If your brother trespass against you,
rebuke
you're
him.
supposed to go to him, rebuke him, read,
And if he repents,
And if what?
and if he repents,
If he repents, read.
forgive him.
So if he repents, you forgive your brother. Right? Get Matthew 18 and 15. Right? If the brother don't repent, you don't gain that brother. He steals from you, he doesn't repent. I mean, that's not your brother. Right? You didn't gain the brother, man. If you rebuke him and he don't repent, it don't say it is what it is, and you still buddy with the brother. If he repent, forgive him. Right? Bring it up.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15.
Right?
Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee,
Right?
go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone.
Right?
If he shall hear thee,
If he shall hear thee,
thou hast gained thy brother.
if he hears you, that's when you gain your brother. So what's the opposite of that? You lose your brother. Right? Because you can lose a brother in this truth, man. Right? That's thus saith the Lord. Get us Sirach chapter 27 and start at 16.
Sirach chapter 27 and verse number 16.
Right?
Whoso discovereth secrets loseth his credit,
Right?
and shall never find friend to his mind.
Right? If you discover secrets, meaning you out there just putting somebody's business all out on the street, man. They telling you something in confidence, thinking you their brother, and you go tell everybody in the damn congregation, man. How the whole world know XYZ about your household because this brother discovered the secrets. Right? Keep reading.
And so like we didn't have men do those type of things. So it's also speaking from a place of experience, right? So you brothers don't go through it, man.
It's off, man. Bring it up.
Verse number 17.
Right?
Love thy friend,
Right?
and be faithful unto him.
Right?
But if thou bewarest his secrets, follow no more after him.
Hey, the Lord said, don't follow a man like that, man. So you will be a fool to follow a man that's bewaring your secrets. Like that's what the Bible says, right? Keep reading.
Verse number 18. For as a man hath destroyed his enemy, so hast thou lost the love of thy neighbor.
You can lose the love of your neighbor doing something like that, right?
Did you read the part where it said, drawing a sword, everything can be reconciled?
Now, I can bring that out after this. All right, keep reading.
Verse number 19. As one that letteth a bird go out of his hand, so hast thou let thy neighbor go,
Right?
and shalt not get him again.
Right? Basically, it's like you letting the bird go free. That's how you let your friend go, by discovering his secrets, man. So the Lord is saying you can lose a friend. All because you might have labored with a brother, right? You might have blood, sweat, tears with a brothers go off, man. It's okay, you gotta cut them off. If they go into a
That's a part of prophecy.
wicked lifestyle, man.
That's prophecy, man.
Like the brother said, that's prophetic. That has to happen. Hey, Judas was doing miracles. Judas was healing, man. But what did Judas do? He betrayed Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai kind of go be buddy with Judas. Like, yeah, I know you set me up to die, but you know, no, man. Right?
Yeah.
Right, bring it up.
Verse number 20. Follow after him no more, for he is too far off.
Right?
He is as a roe escaped out of the snare.
Like, brothers going to strange doctrines, man. They kind of like they too far, man. To even get them. Right, that's Sirach 27
And 20.
and verse 20, right? Keep reading.
Too far off.
All right, some brothers is too far gone, man. Right, keep reading.
Verse number 21. As for a wound, it may be bound up,
Right,
and after reviling, there may be reconcilement.
right. You can possibly reconcile after y'all fight, maybe, you know, have a verbal dispute. Right, keep reading.
But he that bewrayeth secrets is without hope.
The Lord said that type of man is without hope, man. If you've been wearing them secrets. And raise your hand if you like a brother to kind of tell your business to everybody. I mean, nobody raised their hand. Nobody likes that, man.
Yeah, that's all.
And it's between me and you, brother. XYZ, man, can you pray for me? And the next thing you know, brothers kind of pointing, whispering, pointing at you, right?
Just want to make a quick point. This is why you also have to be careful with who you berate secrets to. You can't berate secrets to everybody. Right? It's not profitable to do so first and foremost. And then the Lord said only has one counselor among 1,000. That's draining to tell every brother literally your business. Your mind gonna be everybody giving you these different answers. You trying to figure out who, brother, you stressing yourself out. tell one or two brothers that you fully trust and break these things down to them in hopes of them building you up, giving you sound counsel. That's how this thing supposed to go, man.
It's way more than this too. It's bloody right here. I keep reading.
Verse number 22.
Right?
He that winketh with the eyes worketh evil,
Right?
and he that knoweth him will depart from him.
You see that? So if you know a man, he's winking with his eyes, he's kind of just a creep, man. He's just a sly, cunning kind of brother, man. Man, you kind of know, if you know about that, man, you would depart, man. But he's winking with his eyes. That's what it's talking about.
It's like hit this miss on there, Kane. About your stuff.
Like he's winking with his eyes. That's what it's talking about. Right? You keep reading in that.
Verse number 23.
Right?
When thou art present,
When thou art present,
he will speak sweetly.
right? Hey, this is my man's right here. I love this brother. You a mighty brother, man. Hey, what you read today? I know you always reading. Hey, man, I can't believe, man, that one precept you brought out, and that was mighty. Hey, that's a fly car. Hey, you smell good, brother. Right?
Real quick, beware of brothers who always flatter you.
Gone.
Beware of those men.
Gone.
And flattery is actually, too much flattery is off. The Lord
Yeah.
even speak about flattering lips. That's why it's vexing everybody. You know, a guy, he always giving you compliments. Like, all right, brother. All right, brother.
Yeah, that's an off type of brother. You got a point?
No, yeah, just a quick point, because like, just to let me back up what Malachi said, like, even in the world, you notice this, like, even in movies and stuff like that, where, when somebody flattering you a lot, like, over flattering, like Malachi saying, usually they really envy you or they jealous of what you got for real.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like a wolf in sheep clothing.
Outpost spirit.
Yeah, the outpost spirit. That's exactly what I was
Are
thinking
you
about.
clean, brother?
Yeah, but they really envy you. They want what you got, but that's not a true brother. You know what I'm saying? Just to let me back up with you. Yeah, precept for that.
What, the real quick preacher, I'm keep reading this.
Yeah, it's a quick precept for
Yeah,
that.
bring it out.
Job 17:5.
All right, bring that out. Job 17:5 through the Spirit.
The Most High hate flattering lips.
That's off,
Hey,
man.
who's the main person that speaks with flattering lips? So-called white man,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that's really a double tongue, double speaking. You're saying one thing, but your heart reveals another.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. Over flattery, man. Bring it up.
Let's look at Job chapter 17 and verse 5. He that speaketh flattery to his friends, even the eyes of his children shall fail.
You see that? So you just constantly speaking flattery, man. I mean, that's always a bad spirit, man. Somebody, like you said, over flattering. So that's a good point. So read that again. Let's start back. What's that? 27.
27 and
23.
23. And it reads, when thou art present, he will speak sweetly and will admire thy words.
Right? He gonna admire everything you say. He'll be super flattering. Right? You reading?
But at the last, he will write his mouth.
But at the last, he gonna write your mouth, man. First chance he get, he gonna speak down on you and slander you, man. Right? So that's an off brother, right? You reading?
And slander thy sayings.
Right? You reading?
Verse 24, I have hated many things.
Hold on, what the Lord say?
I have hated many
Yeah, the
things,
Lord said he hates that kind of person, man. Right? Keep reading?
but nothing like him.
But nothing like him. Right? So if the Lord hates that kind of person, should you be buddy-buddy with that kind of person and speak sweetly? And then they kind of turn around and speak slander to you? No, man. The Lord said you gotta hate people like that, man. You gotta strongly dislike them, keep them far away from you. You got that in this truth, man. All because a brother got on fringes and say, hey, how about you y'all was shy? That don't mean a damn thing, man.
Can I read these lyrics real quick?
Yeah, you can bring that up.
This is from the OJs, man. The OJs, right? Backstabbers. They say what they do. They smile in your face all the time. They want to take your place. The backstabbers. You gotta sing that thing, man. That's real. That's real. Right? So you gotta, a lot of these old songs are spiritual, man. And they teach you lessons and they teach you morality, how to live, what people to be aware of. Aware of. Right, so we going into it, man. Separate these different men. You got a precept?
I got two more. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 5, verse 11. Okay. 1 Corinthians 5 and 11.
1
By
Corinthians,
examples of men, that you gotta get away from, man. Right, bring it up.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse number 11.
Right?
But now I have written unto you not to keep company. If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator.
Right, read that again. If any man what?
If any man that is called a brother be a fornicator.
Hold on, it said if you're called a brother and you're a fornicator, meaning this, you might labor with the brother, like, meaning you might see him in past, you might have a friend this, right? But if he's a fornicator, right, an adulterer, he's a homosexual, right? Keep reading.
Or covetous.
If he's a covetous brother, man, he's known for wanting what other people got. Thievery, right? Those kind of brothers, right? Keep reading.
Or an idolater.
If he's an idolater, man, right? The brother kind of, worship whatever, man.
Wait, and some people say they worship the Lord, but hey, man, they don't really worship the Lord. They worship another God.
Brothers worship Satan in this thing, right? Keep reading.
Or a railer.
A railer, like in you're a reviler. You just kind of, in fact, let's look this up, man.
Yeah, look up railer, man. But a lot of Israel, you gotta go into these different words.
If a brother is a railer, he just express objections and criticism in bitter, harsh, and abusive language. So he's just a damn ish talker, man.
Yeah, ish talker.
Why just talking junk, man?
Defecation talker.
He's use abusive language. I told that boy this, that, and the third, man. XYZ just being a nigga, man. Right? That's a real, right?
I said I was coming to camp and I feel like
It reads. Or a drunkard.
Brother, it's a drunkard, right? He's drunk as hell all the time, right? Keep reading.
Or an extortioner.
Or a what?
Or an
An
extortioner.
extortioner. Just kind of robbing people, man. Right? Just extorting brothers, man.
we know men that did these type of things.
Drunkards,
We
brothers.
know we know men that stole from congregations, man.
Yeah, that's an extortion. You a thief. Right? Read.
Extorting widows,
God.
robbing houses. Oh! Patting people's pockets, literally.
She got brother. Yeah, that's wicked, man. But who wants to be around that brother? If
You got Debo's in the truth, man.
extorting widows and taking food out of brothers' mouth, man. You might have a brother in your last. Whole time they kind of. That's probably right. That's an extortion.
You gave the brother the shirt off your back. Literally.
That's extorting brothers. That's the thievery, right? Now, if let's look up extortion.
Yeah, look up extortion, man. Because Jake want to talk about it's not only just not eating pork. It's not only that, man. And growing a beard on your face. I always tell Jake that.
I'll look up
The
extortion.
truth is
There.
more than just growing a beard on your face and not eating pork. Muslims do that. So that's not going to get you salvation.
It said a person who obtains something by force or threats.
And you can force somebody without aggression,
Huh?
right? You can be passive aggressive. Look up that word, passive aggressive. That's a brother. I'm sure he's hungry, brother.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's hungry.
They kind of quoting
You
scriptures.
let a man in your house, he eating your refrigerator.
They kind of quoting scriptures. Hey, brother, we waxing poor this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm waxing poor,
We seen this in Israel.
That's literally an extortion.
Brother kind of, hey man, brother, looking at, eating all your snacks. We seen this, man.
I got the definition of
Brothers drinking up your kid juices. all they Capri Suns.
passive aggressive behavior is a pattern of indirectly expressing negative feelings instead of openly addressing them. So you just kind of indirectly saying things.
Yeah.
Like, damn, how can I feed my family, man? I know you just got paid.
I know you. How much you get paid out? Hey man, brother.
Wish I got paid that much, man. I'm poor, man. I can't even feed myself this Sabbath. I wish I had a brother.
I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'm indirectly fasting, right?
I heard that.
Brother said, I'm fasting, but I ain't even trying to, brother.
They got that little kid spirit. My mama said I eat those.
I was gonna say real quick, in first Samuel, the 2nd chapter, Eli's sons, Phineas and Hophni, they were actually extortioners. They were literally telling people like, no, like you're actually gonna get like,
Yeah, see?
literally threatening them.
Threatening people.
You keep reading that, correct?
You had Gehazi, what's that?
Oh, Elisha
Yeah.
and Gehazi in 2 Kings.
Brothers
Yeah,
extortioners,
second
man.
Kings, that the 5th chapter.
Yeah.
Y'all can read Acts 5 chapter. How they stole from God.
Yeah. And it was stealing from the king. When a man robbed the Most High. Yet he had robbed me and tithes and offerings, right?
Damn.
Right? Like selling,
So taking the Most High authority that He put out for us to show love and do stuff for people, and taking that into your own will, that's robbing the Most High.
yeah, you robbing the church, honestly. Because that's, stealing money from the church, you robbing the church. He put to death for that. Right? You see what happened to Heliodorus in 2nd Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, got scorched by a demon.
Damn.
So the Most High started sending all type of plagues and torments at you because you're doing wickedness.
Trying to rob the temple.
Yeah, the treasure.
You can bring that out.
God, it reads, with such an one, know not to eat.
What the Lord say?
With such an one, know not to eat.
Well, you can't even eat with that brother.
Real quick.
Right.
Eat, of course that's breaking bread. That's spiritual too. Right? Because when we out there feeding Israel, we also feeding ourselves as well. We out there eating, getting in the word. So you can't be laboring with that man as well. A conversation on the phone, you eating with that brother. Right? It's spiritual.
I got 2 more.
No, not to eat with that man. And that's like at work. Esau always got, we had a pizza party. I'm not going to your pizza party, man. Or Esau try to like crack open a beer one day, man. Look, no. You can't eat with the wicked.
The Lord said, you can't sit. But David said, I will not sit with the wicked. I think that's Psalms 26. Right? This 2 John, verse number 10. Then I got one more after that. 2 John 10.
2 John, verse number 10.
Right?
If there come any unto you, and bring not this doctrine,
Right?
receive him not into your house,
Right?
neither bid him Godspeed.
And you can't even bid them Godspeed. That's good wishes to a brother. You can't even bid them Godspeed if they damn coming with folly doctrines, man. This thing's so contrary to the scriptures that it's just damn near demonic, man.
Somebody did that.
It's like, yeah, they just miss on
You
that.
got all type of strange doctrines out here. Freaking off on the Sabbath.
Yeah, brother tell you can freak off on the Shabbat, man. Right, tell you can, it's all kind of madness, man. Right, brothers read the book of Enoch, man.
Yeah, the book of Enoch.
Saying angels kind of, had sex with women, man. And made 40 foot, man.
Brothers reading Jasher.
You can't bid brothers Godspeed, man. Right? They partaking in evil doctrines, man. Right? Say you can rape women. And that's wicked, man. Right? Keep reading.
They say that's what real alphas do. We heard men say this, man.
Kind of take the, that's wicked. Bring it up.
Verse number 11.
That's
For he that biddeth him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds.
right, so you bid that brother Godspeed, and they kind of, say you can rape little girls. Now you a partaker in that spirit, man. That's what the Lord said. So you can't bid on Godspeed, man. Some brothers you just gotta kind of separate from. Right, this Sirach 22, verse 20.
Sirach, chapter 22 and verse number 20.
Right,
Whoso casteth a stone at the birds frayeth them away,
right. Throw a stone in the middle of birds, they go all kind of fly off. Like you reading?
and he that upbraideth his friend breaketh friendship.
Right, so the Lord said you can break friendships in this thing, upgrading your friend. right? Speaking down on them in a wicked way, right? Can you read it?
Verse number 21. Though thou drewest a sword at thy friend, yet despair not, for there may be a returning to favor.
Right? If you get into a fight, you draw your sword on the brother, you may be able to reconcile that. Right? Can you read it?
If thou hast opened thy mouth against thy friend, fear not, for there may be a reconciliation.
Right?
Except for upbraiding, or pride, or disclosing of secrets, or a treacherous wound. For these things every friend will depart.
Right, so the Lord said, for these things, every friend will depart. So I'm bringing these precepts out to show it's okay to cut people off in this truth as well, man. Not just your family or your worldly friend, but you might have a friend in this truth. And then once you prove that friend, or, brothers go off, brothers get wicked in this thing, that's fulfilling prophecy, and start falling away into strange doctrines, you can cut them people off too, man. And it'd be wise to do so, because you don't want that spirit hopping on you. You don't want to bid God's speed to a fornicator, to an idolater.
Because that spirit can hop on you.
Now you want to rob the nation, right? So, certain things, you got to just cast brothers to Satan, man. That's what Paul did.
Quick precept. This 1 John chapter 2, verse 19. Let me bring this out. They went out from us, but they were not of us. For if they had been of us, they would no doubt have continued with us. But they went out that they might be made manifest that they were not all of us. Right, so you got men that's not hit on more, they wasn't with us, man.
1 John
1 John 2:19, they wasn't with us. If you got men that's not part of the congregation, most likely they just was off, they not with us no more. Now you got men that, I've never really seen it, but most men that leave congregation, they begin to wax worse.
Yeah.
Not saying in every situation, because you got some splits that's happened, and that's the Most High did that split, so the word can go out more, and the nation can be magnified. But you got most splits when it happen, man, it's not good. These men begin to die off, or they change up their doctrine, they switching it up, they remix it. They literally spin the record and they remix the doctrine.
Yeah, they sampled.
Yeah.
That's how people leave a lot of times. They got a doctrine.
And the Most High get rid of them. Because, hey, sometimes you don't have to physically kick a man out. The Lord gonna get rid of him. Right? The Lord gonna put an evil spirit on him. I just don't want to be around you guys. Boy, brother, your spirit off.
All praises.
Right. So we didn't have these things happen within Israel. Go ahead.
We're on 1 Corinthians 5:1. We're going to bring out a few examples in the scriptures of our forefathers cutting people off.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse number 1.
Right, now remember, when you read, you got to get the context, get the understanding. Paul is writing a letter. He's addressing the issues that's happening in Corinth. Go ahead.
It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you, and such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles.
Not even the Gentiles were doing these wicked ass acts that Shaw was doing. Go ahead.
That one should have his father's wife.
This man wanted his father's wife. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And ye are puffed up, and have not rather mourned that he that hath done this deed might be taken away from among you.
They didn't well, we don't know how it happened exactly, but they didn't remove him. They just said, well, it is. Go ahead.
For I verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit, have judged already.
But Paul already knew the people. He knew the body. He knew the brothers. He already judged through the spirit what happened. Go ahead.
As though I were present concerning him that hath so done this deed.
Go ahead.
In the manner of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, when ye are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. Verse 5. To deliver such an one.
So let's read that slowly. He said, we are gathered together, and I'm there in the spirit. Once y'all gather together, have a congregation or a council, tell them what?
Verse 5. To deliver such an one unto Satan.
They rebuke him before all. That's what they did. They gathered together to say, hey, you're done. You're out of here. Go ahead.
For the destruction of the flesh, that the spirit may be saved in the day of the Adawan Yahushua.
See, so there's nothing wrong with casting people away that's offended you. Brothers already brought it out. That's playing upon tables. We bring out Acts 15 and 36.
Acts chapter 15 and verse number 36. And some days after Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Lord, and see how they do.
Right.
And Barnabas determined to take with them John, whose surname was Mark. But Paul thought not good to take him with them, who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them to the work.
So Paul didn't want to take him because Mark wasn't trying to do the work at a certain time. Go ahead.
Verse number 39. And the contention was so short between them that they departed asunder, one from the other.
I'm going to Google that word contention real quick. It was so sharp that they departed. Now, it was still love for each other, but sometimes you got to know when to depart. If you can't learn or understand and fathom when you have to depart because of an argument, discord, or an opinion, whatever, I mean, you're going to continue to strife nowadays. There's no point, there's no remedy in strife. There is a remedy in separation. So you can go to 3 John chapter 1, verse 7. It's like verse 9. You start verse 8.
3 John, verse number 8. We therefore ought to receive such that we might be fellow helpers to the truth. Verse number 9. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have the preeminence among them, receiveth us not.
Right, this man Diotrephes was being a nigga. But let's continue to read what else he did.
Verse number 10. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth.
Right, so what kind of deeds did he do? And Paul said he remembered them. So you got to remember the type of person a brother was when he departed. Because you can't, if you forget, like, you going, okay, I don't remember what he did, let's bring him back.
And that's why you say, forgive, but don't forget.
That's right. Yeah, that's why you say you got to mark some that causes division. You got to mark them. Go ahead.
Prating against us with malicious words.
With what?
With malicious words.
He was a reviler. Go ahead.
And not content therewith, neither doth he himself receive the brethren.
And he wasn't being cool with the brothers.
Yeah, real quick. Hey, we seen things like this. We make documentaries, right? Men slander households. Yeah, this brother did this. I heard this brother did that. Right? And that's reviling the brothers.
Right.
Because these are the same brothers that may have repented. Right? Or may have said they Salakias years ago. But you still kind of holding on a grudge from 4 or 5 years ago. We actually seen these things take place in Israel. Speaking from experience. Right? So, I mean, it's the same spirits back on earth today. And that's why the scriptures say you can't let these things move you. Men gonna come out and all type of slander. That's a part of the battle. They're gonna persecute you. Right? They're gonna discover thy reproach, because these was once brothers. You may have confided in these brothers about certain things, but y'all fall out now, you putting out your business on front street. Now, the Lord not dealing with a man like that, man.
Nah.
Not at all.
See that?
Come on, reading on. And forbiddeth them that would, and casteth them out of the church.
So you just throwing people out the church for whatever reason, whatever deemed fit for him, threw them out. Just breaking down the temple of the Lord. Just tearing the bricks down, one by one. That's wicked. Go ahead.
Verse number 11. Beloved, follow not that which is evil.
What he said?
Follow not that which is evil.
So if you continue to abide with a friend that's evil, you evil. He said, follow not that which is evil. Go ahead.
But that which is good. He that doeth good is of Yahweh.
That's right.
But he that doeth evil hath not seen Yahweh.
So Diotrephes, he hasn't seen the Most High. He hasn't seen how was shot.
But he thought he did, bro.
He thought so. He thought. But let's find out who did see the Lord. Continue.
Verse number 12. Demetrius hath good report of all men.
So he started with Diotrephes, and now he's ended with Demetrius. Demetrius had a good name. He had a good report. All praises.
He took his bishopric.
That's right. He took his office, his garment, and his flame. Go ahead.
And of the truth itself, yea, and we also bear record. And ye know that our record is true.
And it's true. It's of a fact. Demetrius mighty, man.
That's right.
He's all praises. This is a fellow friend and a Lord.
That's right.
And sometimes, again, you got to know when to cut people off.
And it's okay.
Paul even said real quick in 1 Corinthians 16:22, if any man love not the Lord Yahweh Hamashiach, let him be anathema maranatha. Let him be a vessel fitted for destruction. I can't follow after him. That's plain.
That's a curse.
It is a curse on him.
Damn.
Let him be a vessel fitted for destruction.
You bet he said let him be destroyed.
Yeah.
You got to cast people into Satan.
You know.
It is what it is.
He wanted him to be destroyed. It's like going off. Yeah.
Some dudes just, you know.
I got one more. Romans 16:4. That's facts. When you're dealing with a real demon,
Yeah,
I mean,
real, like,
look,
a real demon.
like you just said, demon. Hey, that's what it's fit to say that. It is what it is.
He's a habitual.
habitual. Yep.
Hey, I don't know, remember you was saying, you had a conversation with some of your friends in the world talking about King Von. He was like, well, the Lord did that. He knows what it is. And they kind of laughing, but you like, oh, he did that. Like,
Yeah, I said the Lord just came
Yeah,
on.
the Lord got rid of that man.
They started laughing. I'm like, no, for real. I'm serious.
he's a murderer. You gotta go.
I was serious.
He's the first well-known rapper that was a murderer.
Yeah.
Everybody knows this.
Yeah.
Right. So the Lord got rid of him.
They be rapping in friends' lives. And this guy was serious.
Yeah, we got serious up with the devil.
That's for real.
That's what happened to murder.
This book of Romans, chapter 16 and verse number 4. Who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks.
It's like you saw verse 2.
Verse number 2. That ye receive her in the Lord as becometh saints, and that ye assist her in whatsoever business she hath need of you.
So Paul had friends, and he's listening on his friends right now. Go ahead.
For she hath been a succour of many, and of myself also.
A succor is a helper. So when you have a friend, you have to judge them and prove them, right? And see, are they going to help you? Are they going to lay down their life for you? These are good attributes of a friend. Paul is telling you the attributes of a good friend. Go ahead.
Greet Priscilla and Aquila, my helpers in Mashiach Yahushua, who have for my life laid down their own necks, unto whom not only I give thanks, but also all the churches of the Gentiles.
So if your friend is going to lay down their life for you, are they going to help you? Are they going to be a succor? I mean, you got to ask yourself, is my friend moving in that spirit to the best of his ability? Go ahead.
Likewise, greet the church that is in their house. Salute my well-beloved Epanetus, who is the first fruits of Achaia unto Mashiach. Greet Mary, who bestowed much labor on us.
She bestowed much labor on them. Go ahead.
Salute Andronicus and Junia, my kinsmen and my fellow prisoners, who are of note among the apostles, who also were in Mashiach before me.
Go ahead.
Greet Amplias, my beloved in the Lord. Salute Urbane, our helper in Mashiach, and Stachys, my beloved. Salute Apollos, approved in Mashiach. Salute them which are Aristobulus household.
Aristobulus. So even Aristobulus household, salute all these people, right? Why? Because they can show good signs of being a friend. They have all the perfect attributes of being a friend. So next time you're trying to have, you're having struggle, how do I know what's a good friend? Let me read, what Paul said, right? How was his friends? How are they moving? Oh, they was a helper. Oh, that's mighty. They laid down his life for him. Oh, that's mighty. now I have a good idea on what a good friend is through the Spirit. With that, I yield.
I got one precept. It's on Sabbath 34, Sabbath 33 and 14.
Trying to bring it up.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 33, and verse number 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death.
The Bible say,
Good is set against evil, and life against death.
that's plain. Good is set against evil and life against death. You know what?
So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Right, so a godly man is going to be set against the sinner, and likewise. Right, so there's always going to be contention between the two. That's why, respectfully, you just got to cut off these brothers, because their spirit is not inclined to yours. So even if they was around, all hell will break loose, because y'all not on one accord. So it's actually peaceful for you to cut them off, because you're really trying to keep the peace. And the Lord said, blessed are the peacemakers. So that's part of being a peacemaker as well. Knowing when to respectfully cut a brother off because he's not beneficial for the body. You know, I mean,
It's all right, 6 and 17,
Sirach chapter 6 and verse number 17.
right?
Whoso feareth Yahweh shall direct his friendship aright.
Right?
For as he is, so shall his neighbor be also.
Right, so you gotta be on one accord with your friends. Because as your friend is, that's how you will be. Just all right, 13 and 1.
Ecclesiastes.
Right, you gotta direct your friendship aright, man. Just can't be friends with anybody, man. Right, bring it up.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 13 and verse number 1.
Right?
He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled therewith.
Right?
And he that hath fellowship with a proud man
Right.
shall be like unto him.
Right, so you friends with an adulterer, man. You friends with a proud man. Like you friends with a man who always want to fight, man. You friends with somebody that's smoking weed, man, and you like unto them. You're going to receive that same judgment. Because their spirit, again, can jump on you. Right, so you want to refrain, cut off your right hand, pluck out that eye, and get away from certain brothers, man. Get away from your worldly friends. Get away from that your damn worldly cousins. Get away from that brother, man.
that wicked infidel.
Right? Wicked infidels, wicked men. You gotta get away from them, man. Right? Cast them unto Satan, man. And let the Lord deal with them.
You can dismiss it.
I don't know what infidel means. I believe.
That's right. Infidel is an unbeliever.
That's right.
Believe in the word.
Oh, you got it.
Sirach 7, 16.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse number 16. Number not thyself among the multitude of sinners, but remember that wrath will not tarry long.
That's plain. I mean, we've had friend groups in the world that's amongst the sinners. I mean, you got an adulterer, you got a covetous person, you got an idolater. That's a multitude of sinners. You're amongst them. Hey, guess what happens? The wicked is gathered together as it told you, all going to be set on fire.
They're going to burn up like the chaff.
Mm-hmm.
I got some more.
You got it.
Psalms 26 and 4 through 5, and then skip to 9.
Psalms 26.
Yeah, 26, 4 through 5.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 26, starting at verse number 4. I have not sat with vain persons, neither will I go in with dissemblers. Verse number 5. I have hated the congregation of evildoers, and will not sit with the wicked. Jump down.
9.
Verse number 9. Gather not my soul with sinners, nor my life with bloody men.
Yeah, a lot of men in this world, they got bloody hands. Our goal is to make sure we have the least amount of blood on our hands as possible. That's Acts 20 and 26. We'll close out with Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16. I mean, at the end of the day, your friends should have this in their mind. What Ruth said to Naomi.
Like they say, your friends are a reflection of you.
Yep.
So if you hang around nothing but fornicators and thieves, then you might be a fornicator and thief. That spirit won't hop on you.
It's an old saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
Yep. Birds of a feather flock together.
You wonder why you dealing with demons and you damn slothful as hell, whatever you dealing with. I mean, look you around, bro.
Yeah.
You around demons, man. Some spirits pulling you down. Brothers can drain your spirit in this thing.
They can.
Definitely. You gotta guard your spirit, man.
At all
It's
costs.
not always profitable to know every single damn soul in Israel. You want to be that brother, just know every damn body. Well, brother, hold on. You gonna run across a lot of problems, brother. Yeah.
It's some, if you gotta understand, if you read the Bible, you'll see we had our whole nation. We had all the laws, we was in the land, and brothers was going to hell off in the Bible. They knew they was Israel. So how much more these dudes coming out the world, man? There's a lot of wicked niggas in Israel. It is what it is, man.
And look at
Brothers be scared to cut a brother off.
Look at King Manasseh. You know, he repented, but he was worshiping the sun. He was worshiping the moon, the stars, all the hosts of heaven. He wrought much evil in Israel. And he was a man that knew he was an Israelite. Knew about the commandments. He knew about everything.
He was raised in the law. They was
Yeah.
real
Raised in
wicked.
the law.
Pharisees
So-
knew the law by the letter. Wicked men.
Hezekiah was his father. And Hezekiah was a righteous man.
Yeah.
So if you got these men that went off in the ancient world when we was more ordered and structured as a nation as far as commandments goes, I mean, how much more Jake coming out the world?
They be scared to cut brothers off. Brothers come and go, man. It is what it is, bro.
That's facts.
Yeah, so learn to cut people off. Learn to cut people off. Learn to cut people off. Gotta say it 3 times for emphasis.
You bring it up.
It's the book of Ruth, chapter 1 and verse number 9.
16.
Oh, verse number 16. It's like, and Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go.
That's a good friend. Where you go at, I'm gonna go. Go ahead.
And where thou lodgest, I will lodge.
Hey, wherever you sleep, I'm gonna sleep there. Go ahead.
Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God.
Go ahead.
Verse 17, when thou diest, will I die.
Damn. If you die, I die with you. Ride or die. Go ahead.
And there will I be buried. Yahweh do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me.
In other words, the only thing that's gonna depart us is death itself.
Death was part.
And that's what a friend said to another friend. So, you know, Lord willing, Israel understands the lesson, learn how to cut people off, understand what a true friend is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, right? Have discernment. You gotta love your own soul. But with that, shalom.